So hello YouTube, welcome back to another Market Outlook series. It's Califax here, and I hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. So I hope you guys had an incredible week. This was the beginning of the month of September, and actually this marks this is the beginning of one of the busiest years. I mean, I will say one of the busiest periods of the year, right, in trading. So I hope you guys had a nice start of the month of September. My week actually first started with, I had two losses in a row in a day. I think it was on Monday. I had two losses, so I actually documented on the free Telegram group as well. But I ended up, ending the week in profit. We actually caught some really nice trades, and so that's it, right? So let's just quickly talk about the what we're actually trying to see for the next week. So let's quickly start from the EUR-USD, and let's just start from the monthly time frame, right? Just to do the whole top-down analysis on this one. And so if we quickly look at what's going on with EUR-USD, is that the monthly structure as of now is still bearish, right? Price came at this supply zone right here. So let me just quickly mark the supply zone. We have this supply zone. That's where price tapped, and now it's having a reaction, right? So if we just quickly look at the Fibonacci from this previous low all the way to previous high, we can see the price went above 50%. So anything above 50% for me, it's a very valid zone to look for sales. So if we drop down to the daily time frame, we can clearly see that the daily structure is still bullish up to this point, right? So we just had a nice reaction at supply zone. That doesn't mean the price will go all the way down. It might do that, but it can also just be a pullback towards this daily demand zone, and then we have that continuation to the upside. That's basically looking from the daily time frame. That's the outlook we have. Daily still bullish. We want to make sure that we remain bullish. So the daily structure is still bullish. Price came to this daily demand zone. So this is the whole daily demand zone. I ended up refining this on the I believe it was 30 minutes time frame. So let me just drop down to 4 hour. So once price comes to my daily demand zone, I need to see a 4 hour change of character to the upside so I can continue to buy all the way up, right? Especially as an intraday trader. If you trade higher time frame on the daily, maybe setting a limit here, you will still be in the trade with a stop loss above, the last point of mitigation. But as an intraday trader, once price comes to my daily demand zone, I need to see a 4 hour change of character to the upside. That is just a much better confirmation that price is ready to continue to move to the upside. So if we look at the 4 hour, we can clearly see that the structure is still bearish up to this point, right? Very clearly. So if I drop down to the 1 hour time frame, so we can understand what's going on in this particular price action right here, and let me just quickly use the 30 minutes. I believe it's much better. Correct. So if we look at what's going on the M30, we can see that we had this break of structure to the downside, mitigation, then second break, price started to pull back, and then came aggressively grabbing liquidity right here. So we can see that this was just that liquidity rate all the way to the upside. I believe this was when news kicked in. Price came into this 30-minute supply zone, and now we're seeing a push to the downside. So actually, one of my students, yesterday, it was just almost, I believe it was 4 hours before market close, he actually took a sell on EUR-USD. So the main idea was just for him to sell all the way down to take out this M30 previous low, just to maintain the order flow just looking from the M30, right? Because the M30 is still bearish as far as we can see. So for me, in order to buy, at least I need to see price breaking above this previous structure high, and then we see the structure shift from bearish to bullish, right? So that's basically it on EUR-USD. We can see that on the month, price came to a monthly supply. Daily is still bullish, 4 hour is still bearish, and M30 as well is still bearish. So I need to see price continue all the way to the upside. That would be the first sign of bullish intention. If price breaks above this previous structure high right here, that would be the first sign of bullish intention. But there is a possibility the price may continue to push all the way down, and even probably violate the daily bullish structure, right? Because we know the price came to a monthly supply zone, right? So that's it for EUR-USD. Let's move to the next pair. So Aussie dollar, we can clearly start from the weekly time frame. We just need to look at the weekly, and we can clearly see that the structure is overall bearish. Price came all the way to the upside, and then we had the change of character, mitigation, second break, third break of structures. We can clearly see that the overall, order flow at this particular pair is bearish on the weekly time frame. So if I drop down to the daily time frame, so we can understand what's going on within that weekly range, is that we can see that basically everything is also bearish. So I just need to look at the 4 hour. So let me drop down to 4 hour time frame. And if we look at the 4 hour, we can clearly see that everything is bearish, right? We just had this break of structure, mitigation, break, mitigation. Price just, doing a beautiful bearish order flow right here with breaks and mitigations. Price came into this supply zone right here. This actually I sent on the free Telegram group as well. So price had broken this structure. So if you guys look at this week, this was the last buy before the sell that finally took out this previous low. Now, this may not be a very strong zone. I really don't like to, I really don't trust that much buy to sell weeks. I know that most of the times we're going to have some sort of reaction at those zones, but most of the times they don't tend to hold. So what I'm expecting to see is, okay, price just reacted at this supply zone and it started to pull back. So I would love to see price coming at above into this supply zone right here. And the reason for that is if I use the Fibonacci, for example, from this low, from this previous structure low all the way to this previous structure high, we can see that 50% is still right here and price didn't come at 50% yet. So usually for me, I like to sell anything around 50%, above 50% of the Fibonacci range. That's close to the premium level zones, right? So I'm still expecting to see this can be a valid reaction at supply zone because this was the last point, the last buy before the sell. So of course there was going to be some reaction in there, but there is a possibility that price may drop. Let me just drop down to 30 minutes time frame because we can see that we had this break of structure. We can see that we had this break of structure high right here. So this is the break of structure and price currently is reacting at this demand zone right here. So there is a possibility that price may continue to push all the way down, right? Or price from this zone, it can start to push all the way up into this supply zone. So this is what I'm going to be monitoring soon as the market open. I would love to see what's going to be the reaction. If price, is this demand going to hold and push all the way, price all the way to the supply zone, or it will be violated and we see price continue all the way down? Because that's the overall high time frame intention, is to see price go all the way down to the weekly previous low, right? So that's it for Aussie dollar. Next pair. GU, I really like the price action so far on GU. I mean, it's been respecting the overall, high time frame, directional bias, intention, everything, right? So if we look at what's going on GU, just looking from the monthly time frame, we can clearly see we had a break of structure. We had a mitigation of what was responsible for the break. Price came back, and then we had the break of structure. Actually, the first attempt was this week, but we can clearly see the price failed to close below the previous structure low. So at this point, bears were losing momentum. Bulls stepped into the market, but the bears said, nah, we're pushing price all the way down. That's when we had the body closure. Now price is it came back into this supply zone, which was responsible for breaking this previous structure low right here, right? So it's absolutely clear on the monthly time frame what's the intention, bearish, right? So we drop down to the daily time frame. We want to see the daily shifting from bullish to bearish, and this is exactly what happened on GU. This was the previous structure high, so this was the previous structure high, then we had this low, and then price had made this high right here. So then what happened? Price came all the way down. We had a body closure below structure daily previous low. That's when we had the daily change of character, first sign of bearish intention. So the monthly is bearish. We want to see the daily changing from bullish to bearish, and this is exactly what happened on GU. Price gave us that daily change of character that we needed. So we dropped down to 4 hour time frame. We want to understand, especially as an intraday trader, we want to make sure we focus more on the daily. I would say more of a 4 hour, right? If you're in just an intraday scalper trader, just make sure you focus on the 4-hour, then medium time frame such as M30, M15 below before you drop down to lower time frame. So if you look at the 4-hour, everybody can see that the structure is absolutely bearish. We had a beautiful break of structure here. Price came back into the POI. Then we had an internal break. Then we had mitigation right here. I think you guys remember when I had a beautiful trade right here on GU, which was 1 to 116. So that's when I caught the trade here. I mean, if I still held the trade, because I would have held the trade and, you know, thinking from the monthly high time frame outlook, right? So, you know, I'll just put the link right here of the video that I made about this trade. I mean, it was a beautiful, beautiful trade. There's a lot of gems on that video, so make sure to watch it. The link is right here. I'll pop up the link right here. So if we look at the 4-hour, we can clearly see we had a break, mitigation, second break, mitigation, then we have this break of structure. So we can see that the 4-hour is absolutely bearish, no doubt about that. Now, what I'm expecting to see is if I use the fib from this low right here, let's use this swing structure low and then this swing structure high. So you guys can clearly see that the 50% is right here, and it actually coincides with this point of interest that I marked right here. So I'm expecting to see GU doing a major pullback all the way into this supply zone, and also you can come to around 6. I believe this is 78.6 Fibonacci zone, which is the golden zone, premium level zone right here, and we're more likely to see price from these zones right here continue to push all the way down into the monthly previous low, right? So GU is absolutely clear the high time frame intention. So let's drop down to the medium time frame. So let's look at M30 time frame. So if we expect price to come right on towards these 4-hour supply zones, what do we need to see? M15 changing from bullish to bearish. I mean, from bearish to bullish, right? We want to see that bullish order flow to the upside. Maybe we can find buying opportunities, right, as we go up, especially as an intraday trader. So if we look at the structure, let's just quickly read the structure. We had this previous structure low, structure high, and then we had this low. Then what happened? Price broke structure right here with the body, right? Body break right there, boom, to the upside. That was the first sign of bullish intention in the market. So I'm going to mark this one right here as the break of structure. So where is the order block? It's sitting down here. We have a ton of imbalances sitting below. So this was just very, very clear to see that the move started from this order block right here. So this is the point of interest right here, and we can see the reaction. Price came, and now we're seeing this push to the upside. Now this demand zone might get a violation, right? When we don't have a guarantee that this demand zone will hold, you know, we never know. So, but as far as we can see, this is a good reaction that I like to see. This is the M30. So what I would do actually, I would drop down to lower time frames and look for confirmation, like a change of character, and then buy all the way up, right? So if I quickly drop down to 2 minutes, I don't think let me see if there was a confirmation. No, we didn't. We actually had the change of character, but price didn't come, started to push all the way up. But that's exactly what I wanted to see on the medium time frame. We want to see M30 change of character to the upside, meaning that the 4-hour is ready to do a pullback towards this 4-hour supply zones that we have here, right here. Very, very clear, right? So that's it for GU. Next pair. So New Zealand dollar, let's start from the weekly time frame. Let me just zoom out. So similarly to Aussie dollar, I mean the overall picture of the price action is absolutely similar right here, right? It's very, very clear that it's bearish. We have price coming into this extreme supply zone. Change of character failed, price failed to break above the previous high, bullish sentiment in the market in depletion, change of character, price came back, mitigated that order block. So we have the RTO. So for some of you guys who don't know what RTO means return to order block. It's the same thing as, you know, when price comes back to do a mitigation, right? It's just a different nomenclature, but it's the same thing. So price came back into this supply zone, then we had a push to the downside right here. So we can clearly see that within this weekly range, we see all this internal structure price action that is bearish, right? So we drop down to the 4-hour time frame. Let's just quickly hop on the 4-hour, because as an intraday trader, that's basically what we need. 4 hours. So if we look at the 4 hour, just looking left, we can clearly see that, I mean, the price action is beautiful on New Zealand dollar. Break, mitigation, break, mitigation, break, mitigation. I mean, all of those breaks are being mitigated. Price break, structure mitigates, right? So now price then broke structure all the way down right here. So what I was expecting to see is price coming all the way up into this supply zone right here, and then we have that major continuation to the downside. But also I'm still aware that price can come into this one because they actually swept liquidity, right? So it grabbed the previous high and then engineered the move that went on to take this 4 hour low. So there is a possibility that price may come all the way up into this supply zone right here, and then we have a push to the downside, or even this one. So we will be monitoring the price action. Now this is on the 4 hours. So if I drop down to M30 time frame, we can see the price had a reaction at this decisional buy before the sell that went on to take that 4 hour previous low. So of course, just like I believe we saw what on Aussie dollar, right? Yeah, I believe that's what we saw very shortly on Aussie dollar, that the same situation was happening, is that we have these last buys before the sell that have a reaction. They might not be very strong zones to hold, but they're actually zones of valid reaction. So we can see that we had this break of structure into that supply zone on M30. So break of structure. And now we can see price actually reacting into these zones right here, right? So this is the demand zone. So there is a possibility that price might, from this zone, start to push all the way up into this supply zone that we actually want to see. And, you know, we will just be monitoring. As soon as the market open, we will monitor what's going to be the reaction in this demand zone. If price will continue all the way to the upside, to that 4 hour supply zone, which is, you know, very valid. And I believe if we go back to 4 hour, that's situated around 50% fib. So let me just quickly use the Fibonacci tool from this low all the way to this high. We can clearly see that the 50% is here. So price still didn't come around 50% of this range high and low. So I'm still expecting price to come all the way up into these supply zones, and then we have that major continuation to the downside. Right, so that's it for New Zealand dollar. Let's move to the next pair. Now the next pair of today is going to be a different one from the usual. I know that, you know, after New Zealand dollar we always look at UJ, but UJ, the price action is not very clear for me to break down today. So I'm just gonna pick USD CAD, and I've seen that a lot of people trade USD CAD. So I mean, let's just quickly look at USD CAD. This is a very clean pair. The overall higher time frame intention is very clear, right? So let's just start from the monthly time frame. So if you look at what's going on here, is that we had a break of structure, right? So we had this break of structure, so we have this point of interest sitting above. Price then came back, mitigated the supply zone, then it pushed all the way down and created the second break of structure. So we can see that the overall order flow on the monthly time frame on USD CAD is bearish. So price comes to this monthly, we can say monthly/weekly supply zone. What do we want to see? We want to drop down to the daily time frame, and we need to see the daily shifting from bullish to bearish. So we can say that, okay, this supply is holding, and most likely we will see price continue to move all the way down to this monthly previous structure low right here, right? So that's the one that we're looking for. So let's just drop down to the daily time frame and read the price action. So here we are on the daily time frame. So if you look at what went on the daily, let me just quickly scroll. Let me just quickly scroll. What's going on? Okay. Oh, no way. Okay, let me just go back. Okay, right here. So if we look at what's going on the daily time frame, is very clear. We had the structure high, structure low, then the structure high, then what happened? Change of character. Price came all the way up to mitigate the supply zone, anything that was there to mitigate. Then we had the major break of structure of this previous swing structure low, and we can clearly see that on the daily the structure have shifted from bullish to bearish. Order flow has been confirmed up to this point, right? So price now came all the way up to this daily supply zone right here at the extreme. So what do we expect? We expect to have on the hourly time frame, we want to see a change of character to the downside, which will be the first sign that price, the supply zone is holding, and most likely we're going to see the continuation to the downside to take out this daily previous low and ultimately the monthly previous low to maintain the bearish order flow, right? Simple as that. So let's just drop down to the 2 hours time frame. That's all we need. So if we come to 2 hours time frame like we have, and we can clearly see, I mean, just by looking at it, we have a change of character. So this was the decisional low that finally had taken out this previous structure high. So we can see price just gave a break of structure right there, right? So now where are the zones? We see this one right here. This is a very valid supply zone that we have up here. So we have this one, and I believe we have something right here with imbalance. So I believe that there's a possibility price may weak at this supply zone also. So let's just keep both of them. So once we just had an hourly change of character, that's what we needed. So what I'm expecting with USD CAD is price to come here. We can drop down to lower time frame. Because this is the 2 hour, and the range of this range is quite small. I don't think we still need them 15 change of character within this range because it's quite small, right? So I believe we can just drop down to 3 minutes time frame, look for a change of character and sell all the way down, right? And we'll wait to see what's going to be the reaction here, but we have exactly what we needed to see. Daily is absolutely bearish, price came to a daily supply. We needed the hourly supply zone, a change of character to the downside. Price gave us, so now we just need to monitor price when the market opens. Okay, so let's move to the last pair. Now the last pair of the day is going to be gold. So quickly, let's just look at gold just by looking at the weekly time frame. Let's just not take too much time. So on the weekly, we can clearly see that price broke structure to the upside, pulled back, a second break. So now we're expecting to see price coming into this weekly demand zone, right? Very clear. So we drop down to the daily time frame. We want to see the structure, right? The bearish order flow on the daily time frame. We can clearly see we had a break, mitigation, second break. Price came into this extreme daily supply zone, way above 50%, which is the premium level. Now we're seeing price doing exactly what we wanted to see, push to the downside right here. So we drop down to the, we can use 2 hours time frame. So when price came into this zone, I remember on the previous outlook last weekend, I sent this one right here while price was still there. So we can clearly see that it just played out to the T. Price came back and dropped to the downside. Now price came into this zone. This is actually an M30 zone. So if I quickly drop down to the M30, we can clearly see that price came into this supply zone. So, and this right here was the liquidity raid that we had. So price had raided liquidity, and then it gave us a change of character right here, right? So this gotta be a, oh, let me go back. So this is going to be the sweep up right there, and price gave us a change of character right here on M15. So this is what we need, M15 change of character, and then we have an M15 supply zone. So we wait for price to come to this supply zone, and then we drop down to lower time frames and look for sales. So that's it, guys, for the outlook. I hope you guys had an incredible time with it. And if you guys enjoyed the video, smash the like button for me. New to the channel, subscribe. You guys are willing to join the mentorship, it's buzzing. Feel free to hit my DM. My contact is in the description box below, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next one.